It's a twister! It's a twister!
I imagine right now you're feeling a bit like Dorothy, landing in Oz in a realm that just does not feel quite like home. I can see it in your eyes. You have the look of a man who does not accept what he sees, because he suspects everything his eyes present to him is a lie. Ironically, this is very close to the truth. Let me tell you why you're here. You're here because you know something. What you know you cannot explain, but you can feel it. You have felt it your entire life that something is wrong with this world that has been presented to you with the full expectation that you accept it and never question it. You don't know completely what it is, but it's there, like a splinter in your mind driving you mad. It is this feeling that brought you here to me, to now, to a choice. Do you know what I'm talking about? Do you want to know what it is? It is the supernatural image and word of God. It is all around us right now, even in your very room where you are sitting at this moment. You can see it when you peer into the mirror at your own reflection, or when you take a photo of a friend. You can feel it when the sun shines, or when a wave in the sea crashes upon you. You can taste it when you bite into an apple, and see it when you tear open a fruit. You can feel it when you caress a woman, or when a woman caresses you. And you can see it upon the woman's body, the breasts, the buttocks, and eyes alike. It is there when you speak, or when you take a breath. You can hear it when the great owl screeches, or see it written upon his face. You can see it coming when a whirlwind is nearly upon you, and hear it when the thunder rolls. And you can feel it when the wind blows. It is the world that exists beyond the veil. It must be perceived with the mind before the eye can see it. A world that no one ever informed you of, yet you know it's there. If you speak of it, others will say you're crazy, for you must believe what they believe. Like everyone else, you were born and introduced and convinced of a false reality, a false world, a prison world designed so that you would not see, hear, smell, taste, or touch the supernatural reality of the true world. They built a prison for your mind and a hell for your soul, and they pray to their gods that you will never wake up. Unfortunately, no one can be shown what the supernatural world is. You have to see it for yourself. This is your last chance. After this, there's no turning back. You hit the back button, the story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you believed before this moment. Or you continue watching, and you cross beyond the veil. and I will show you what is behind the wizard's curtain. Remember, all I am offering you is the truth. Nothing more, nothing less. It is now time to choose. Go back now, or continue beyond the veil.
Well, hello, guys. You were digging the echo. I'm Daniel Alexander Cannon. This is the Supernatural Show. And this is my co host, Shannon. She's here with us again today. Miss Kim is over here that way. Yeah, she's here with us as well today again. Roxy is taking care of some family business today, so she's not able to be here today. I wanted to dive back in a little bit more into, what was it I named it? Pitch Black Night, Darkness, something like that. You know, the name of the show Monday and the premiere I did last night. I'm thinking most of you probably seen one or two of those. Donnie Darko says that Gandalf the White was actually modeled after Daniel. Well, he is fantasy. I'm real. What's happening, Shannon? What in the supernatural is going on with you?
Just trying to get through the rest of the school year and going through stuff. But, interestingly enough, in the last 6-7 months at least, I've noticed that my fan turns on by itself. So I need to figure that out.
Your fan turning on by itself?
Yeah.
Well, as you know, Shannon, we're going to see these electrical anomalies.
Mm-hmm.
All of this modern equipment, we have to remember that they build it all. They had a word in the design and what's in it, like all the lights except for incandescent lighting can be affected by EMF fields. And so that's why they're all flickering. They knew this was going to happen. They installed those kind of lights so that it would happen. And so the stage is set. Mm-hmm. And the illusion has begun.
Right.
And
I will say this. I know a lot of us are feeling this, and we've brought this up on the show a few times, but I know the spiritual attacks are hitting really hard, and I just wanted to take a second to pray for everyone and just all of us going through everything as things are ramping up and all of these anomalies are happening and more is in our face. There's just more and more attack on all of those of us who are with Jesus Christ. And I just, it would be really important right now to just take a second to pray against all of that. And if you wouldn't mind, Daniel.
No, go for it if you feel so led, go for it.
I pray, dear Lord Jesus, that you keep us safe, that you keep us on the right path. I know doors constantly open and we don't even realize it to let in the enemy. And I just pray that we rebuke that in the name of Jesus, that we just hold on to the vision of Jesus in those clouds coming someday, and just to get us through all of this, because we have to be warriors in Jesus Christ right now. There is just so much warfare in the heavens, in our lives, and just on the world stage. And I just pray, Jesus, that you keep us focused, humbled, and ready in the name of Jesus Christ. I know I'm not as eloquent as Dan, but I tried my best there.
Oh, you did awesome. One of the biggest things that Christ always tried to teach was no fear. And that's the biggest thing that you're going to have to master in these days that are coming, is one, that you'll have a lot more of knowledge than those that are around you, even though you tried to share it with them. But one of the biggest things you've got to do is don't fear. Okay? And I'm not just speaking to you, Shannon, I'm speaking to everybody, of course, even myself, because it's going to be challenging, I know, but I also know that I've been put through the fire, and most of us that are here have probably been put through the fire in our life in different ways. And I don't know if everyone has had this experience, but there can come a moment when you just, like, all this chaos is going on, you're like, oh my God. And then you can just snap out of it, just like that. And you go, everything goes calm, everything goes like, none of this matters. So I would say keep that in your mind. Try to work on beating that fear, whatever it is that you're afraid of. Face it. A lot of times that's the way that you can get rid of it. Now you may notice my cameras are set up a little different today. It's because I'm going live right now on TikTok as well on my laptop below me down here. And I don't know how that's going to work, but we're live on TikTok as well. And we're going to be talking about Pitch Black Dark Arrival, which I've talked about in the last couple of, well, we've been covering various aspects of it, the audio manipulation and how that works, the visual manipulation and how that can work, the emotional manipulation. And this has been going through my mind, and I'm going to go ahead and say it, and that is you're going to have to realize and look at yourself as a ship, as a boat, as a vessel that is upon the water, like when Christ was upon the water, and he was in the bottom of the boat, and the storm was raging, and he was down there. He was down there snoozing, and they come down there calling Master, Master. The way the storm's about to overtake us, kind of thing. And he said, "Oh, you've little faith." And he went out and he spoke to the storm and calmed it. And a lot of that is tied to the not having the fear. So when all these things are coming, realize that you're the captain of your experience. Okay? You're the captain of your vessel. You're the captain of your experience. You can choose to run it up on the rocks if you want to, and run it ashore and destroy the whole thing. Or you can choose to steer it properly to stay out of these troubled waters that are already happening. I mean, we just went through multiple years of, well, and all these years going back, especially all the way back to 9 and those 2 number ones. So be the captain of your vessel. And I've shown Shannon before many times, and she knows that we have a ship, an ark, right between our eyes. It's called the ethmoid bone. If you look up the 3D version, 3D uh, interactive, 3D interactive ethoid bone. Look it up, turn it around, look at it, and look at the arc that's sitting right there. It's a small little bone. It's called the ethoid bone, and it literally looks like a boat, a ship, a vessel, an ark, and it sits right between your eyes. It also looks just like a cross with a veil on it, doesn't it, Shannon?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It does.
And I'm sure that that has a lot to do with why we need to look at ourselves as a vessel, or look at this body as a vessel, and you can command it to do your bidding, and you just have to choose wisely. So I'm going to go ahead and share the screen. I think I have that ready. Yeah. And I want to remind y'all guys again, it's not set up yet, but I'm working on and will be working on setting up for us all to go on an angel cruise. I'm going to call it something like that. Somewhere's in the Caribbean. And no, like I said, it's not a party. It's an opportunity for us to get together. You could call it fellowship, uh, to learn some things. And I believe that if we're on the water, which is where I've had the majority of my experiences with angels, even Miss Kim, which you can now see there, she's been with me. Go down to the water's edge, and they'll, when they choose, they will appear right in, right there in front of us, and it ain't no mistaking it like it's a boat way out in the water. It's right there at the water's edge, just like in the Book of Daniel. The Book of Daniel, it talks about them appearing to him at the water's edge numerous times. Right after it goes dark at the water's edge, if you've got a place that you can go do that at, even now, you can likely experience these things. These balls of pure light will appear like the size of a Volkswagen. They're not small. And if you're seeing something way in the distance, just ignore it. If they want you to be, if they want to be seen by you, they'll come right up in front of you, 30 feet, 50 feet, whatever, right in front of you. There's no mistaking it. When you see it, you will know. You will know. So the Angel Cruise is something that's going to be coming up. Now, let me just pull up some of these images. Let's see where they're at. Yeah. This is an image of that we talked about on the show. It is right before the show. I explained to Shannon that I had a little bit even higher understanding come to me overnight about this, and I've said it before, but I've connected the dots, and that is what I have said is that and hello everyone that is in TikTok. Great to see you guys. Way more of you there than I expected. Holy smokes. Okay. I'm not normally running live on TikTok like I am today, but I am. I'm also live on YouTube under the Supernatural Show uh, channel, and also Logic Before Authority, the channel. And we're live. We're live on about 10 platforms, maybe 11 or something like that. Well, actually, no, a little bit too less because we're not live on Facebook. I got to get back in it. I've gotten locked out. Anyways, let's talk about my better understanding. We were talking about how let me see if I can find it here. How these rockets that were shot up by SpaceX, and the rockets had these images of a white horse and a red horse, on the rockets. And as you can see, which y'all guys on TikTok can't see, but I'm hoping to fix that in the near future so I can do this on TikTok. If you want to be able to see, you can pop over to, you should be able to hunt me down on live on YouTube or Instagram or Rumble. Rumble would probably be the best place to go, as a matter of fact. If you go to rumble.com, pull up the Supernatural Show, you'll be able to see all the imagery that you're seeing here. I appreciate y'all guys popping in. Quite a few of you. Very awesome. Y'all guys make sure to follow the Supernatural Show. So we've seen the imagery of, and y'all guys can look this up if you're on TikTok, the imagery of, the way to find it would be called SpaceX NROL-129. That was the launch number. And they made these patches, and one of the patches, they call them a launch patch. And one of the patches has a white horse on it with a rider with a bow and a crown. It's right out of Revelation 6:1. And then there's a second one there that has a red horse with a rider with a crown and swords and a sword. Right out of Revelation 6 again. And what I realized during the show the other day was that in Revelations, it was written in Greek. And the word bow, the rider had a bow. The word bow, if you define it in Greek, it means the simplest of fabric, which I showed the other day. And I could easily show it again right now for y'all guys to see on most of the platforms. But that's NROL-129. Our time has come, or either SpaceX. At the bottom of the image it says, our time has come. So the time for the white horse and the red horse of Revelations has come. They launched these satellites up there in the very beginning of the plan demonic several years ago, as y'all guys know. And the name of the company is Starlink. Now, many of you have been around for quite a while, and some of you may be new, especially on TikTok. But what a star is it's an angelic entity. A star is not some place that you can go land on, and neither is a so-called planet. Okay, a planet like Jupiter, Saturn, they are what's called failed stars. They're fallen angels. Okay? And I know that this may be wild for some of you to hear, but the stars are angels, and they hold a nodal point in a toroidal image in the shape of an apple. And it's a toroidal matrix, okay, which crisscrosses itself, and there's nodal points, just like cymatics. If you take sound and you put a speaker and you put sand on top of it and change the frequencies, it changes in all these different shapes, and there are nodal points on those shapes. And where the angels sit in the heavens are on nodal points, and they emit a frequency. They sing, and they sing creation together, and it holds our toroidal environment. See, we don't live on a ball. We live inside the ball. We live at the point of Genesis where the seed's at, just like in an apple. Just like in an apple, where all life is in the center, in the core, in the eye of the apple. And so the angels are out there. The stars are angels, period. And Starlink named themselves Star, meaning angel, Link, meaning matrix, meaning the simplest of fabric, which is what the word bow means in Greek. So what Starlink is doing is they are attempting to create an artificial matrix, an artificial world. Word world is said one way, but truly spelled a different way. It's spelled WHIRLED, world, because we live inside of a world. We don't live on the ball. We live inside of a ball. We live in a plane inside the ball. We live on a portion of the plane with a larger portion of the plane that we don't have access to currently. And I know somebody is probably rolling around on the floor having your nice little fit because you don't understand the things that I speak. But that's okay. You're at least here. So, understanding that Starlink means angel matrix or angel bow would be another good translation for it. And that's what they're doing. They're not just up there trying to get internet to the Africans running around still putting bones in their noses. Okay? Not like there's anything wrong with that. It's fine. They're probably doing better off than we are in a lot of ways. You think because we have skyscrapers and fancy buildings and fancy cars and fancy houses that we're living a better life? I'm not so sure. We may be the accursed ones. So, if you look at this image, of course, this is the image that I showed. And again, y'all guys on TikTok can't see it. But it's an image that shows the network, the bow, the simplest of fabric that SpaceX is setting up above our heads. They even admit that all of their satellites have lasers on them so that they can connect together. Once they get such a level of network together that is tight enough so that they have enough nodal points covered on the toroidal field that we live in, the matrix that we live in, they will be able to block out the stars, block out the light that's coming from above, and create an artificial environment. And you may think they don't have that kind of capability. Unfortunately, they do. They're already demonstrating it and showing it in Vegas and in other places in the world as well. That's an image that comes out of Vegas. So is this one. This is a sphere with people inside of it. The people are inside. They go inside of it to have their experience in that matrix ball. Just like our experience, we're inside the ball, not on the surface. We live in the Genesis, in the center, where all Genesis takes place. Inside the ball, just like inside the uterus, where does life take place at and grow from? Inside the ball, not on the surface. They've lied to you, they've lied to us our entire lives. Since we were born into sin, born into lies, born into deception from day one. Even your parents didn't know, or at least most of them didn't. Mine didn't for sure. But luckily we were able to break outside of that, you might say, and finally start to learn and figure out some things. Let's see here. Just looking at some more of these images. Go ahead, Shannon.
I just wanted to also mention, aside from the images that they project, like, that are so animated and realistic like that, they also use that for subliminal messaging. And there's been several times there's people have caught the subliminal messages in between things. So that's also something important to note, because it's not just visually indoctrinating you into things, it is also subconsciously trying to subvertly put messages in your being to behave like. So I just kind of wanted to make
Yeah, they certainly are. Just look at the message that they're giving right here on the screen right now. You see, they're showing something that kind of looks like the Borg, like the Borg Queen. It's half biological, half um, machine, like the Borg from Star Trek. And it's probably not that far off of how, when they show themselves or they show us this, and they point them out on television because that's where it'll be. They'll say, "There's the alien. There they are," and they likely will be part biological, part, or they will appear to be part biological, part machine. And it may be even a physical creation that they've made. But as you can see on the screen here, they're showing you inside this matrix, because that's what it looks like. It's literally a matrix of metals that they're projecting these images onto. You can see it from the inside just like you can see it from the outside. And you can see what the message they're saying. The alien's there. It's breaking
it also has a
breaking the matrix.
it also has a transhuman aspect to it, because
Absolutely.
that's the main goal. They
Well,
feel like they can cheat God's judgment through this, and it's not happening. Just God can come through your made up matrix enemy.
Yep.
So you know.
Well, there's this transhumanism is about putting the man and the woman back together and incorporating technology. It's mixing uh, technology with the clay,
Yeah.
and so you're gonna get. They're not gonna be, these aliens are not gonna be male or female necessarily. They're gonna be like both, and they're going to be uh, part machine. It's going. I highly suspect that. I suspect I'll be right about that. Now, the fact of them creating this artificial matrix above our head, that they're already got the lights flickering all around the world right now. They're starting to show. I know that they're going to do this. It's already happening, and they're going to. At one point, the sky's going to go black, or some version of that. And
There's
this big
that.
show is going to go on, and it's all, the high majority of it will be simple magic trick, illusion. There may be actual planes and some kind of battles that look like that are taking place, because they've got any kind of a craft, anti-gravity type craft, that you can possibly imagine. They already have it. They've got giant triangle crafts. Me and Miss Kim seen one
Right.
one
Well,
night at home.
too, and if you think about it, they are in your face with the fact that they're trying to cover the sun, and there's a lot of
They're not blocking out the sun, aren't they?
right blocking out the sun, and there are a lot of religions out there that believe in a 3 days of darkness that has been passed on in their denominations of something like that happening. And it's like all of these things are pointing in the direction that they're turning off the lights. They are. This is something that's demonic. I mean, in my humble opinion.
I noticed something kind of struck me the other day about the coronal holes. If I can spill, take the cap slide off. Coronal hole, sun. There, as of late, like literally in the last day or two, I'm trying to see if there's an image of it here, but I'm not seeing one. Um, about half the sun is in what you would call a coronal hole. It's using the cameras that they look at it with. It looks like a dark spot. It's actually not dark. It's actually brighter than your cameras have the ability to pick up. It's ultra white, but because the cameras can't see it, it cancels out because light can be canceled out, which is part of the illusion uh, that they're getting ready to pull. Is they have the ability using frequency to cancel out light, just like how sound can be canceled out with those headphones that you can buy, which have noise canceling. It's an inversion. They take the frequency, the sound that's coming through the air around you and hitting your ears, they invert it and play back the inverted version with what you're hearing, and it makes it sound silent. They cancel sound. You can do the same thing with light. And so that's part of this magic trick, is they understand things like that, and they even sell us little trinkets and toys off these technologies that they've learned by studying nature. And but comparing that to the sun, it would be interesting if, say, let's pull up this image here, for instance.
I mean, that's just like the lying signs and wonders, right?
It would be interesting because right now the coronal hole that's there is covering up about a third of the sun on the bottom. I could pull up the live or so-called live images, but it's covering up about the bottom third, and it's all looks like it's blacked out. What it is it's the everything that we're going through right now is part of a transformation. Do you remember the time, Shannon, that we were talking about the ethoid bone and we were talking about the butterfly?
Yeah.
You said, do you remember what you said about transformation?
That was a bit ago. No, I
Yeah.
don't remember.
It's been over a year, but I remember you said, I wonder if you said something like, I wonder if if we're going to have some kind of transformation,
Oh, yes.
like the butterfly, because we also have a butterfly in our head, right? That the ethoid bone sits on is the image of a butterfly. It's another bone. It's called the I can't think of it right this second. I can pull it up. I got to save it, but anyways, it's another bone. Looks just like a butterfly in your head that the ethoid bone sits on top of. The arc sits on top of the butterfly. And no, I'm not saying that we're going to, because I just don't know, that we're going to transition somehow. What I am saying is that this whole period that we're going through is about transformation. And so I think what's going on with the sun is it's begun. You could call it the uh, black hole sun, because I think that reference was made specifically for this. You could, and I'm not referring to a black hole traditionally as what you were taught by NASA. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just using the words that we have available to speak. But we have a huge crowd on TikTok. Hey guys, thank you for being here. I'm just running live on about 10 platforms right now. So I got a lot going on. Screens all around me right here. So I appreciate you being here. Y'all guys make sure to follow the channel. And we'll be doing more lives and uploading some more videos and things and sharing some of this greater knowledge with you. So, black hole sun, um, it seems to be just one of these signs, and there's many of them that are happening. You know how they've been saying, just like you just mentioned about, they've been talking about blocking out the sun, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which is hilarious. However, they can do it. Simply the concept that we've talked about with Starlink, okay, and how Starlink, the network of all the satellites, when they get it thick enough that it can create that artificial matrix. Because again, what this is they're simulating the stars, the angels that are in the heavens holding their nodal points. And if you pull up a live interactive Starlink map, you can see all of the Starlink satellites that they've got all around this world. The map in its nature is not true, but it still gives you an idea. And once they get enough, they're going to be able to block out the sun. See, they hint about these things and they say it and you just think that's preposterous. Well, it is in the way that they're talking about it, but the true way that they're hinting at is a kind of a whole other thing. And the way that they're going to do it is a combination of technologies, but one will be Starlink. Now, I did say this was going to be question and answers, so I'm not just going to rehash everything that I've already covered on the previous premiere and the previous live show from 2 days ago, which it wasn't live on TikTok, but I might be able to upload it after this, possibly on TikTok for y'all guys that are here. But we'll take a look and see what I can do with that. So, questions. Let's see, where can I see my questions at? If y'all guys have any questions, yeah, Max, they do ionize the sky, and they're already doing it, you might say, on somewhat of the lower level. And you can imagine if they had the right aircraft, which they do, and they're flying up at a higher level, they can ionize the air, and it can contribute and will contribute to part of their magic trick that they're getting ready to pull off. And to be clear, the magic trick is to block out the stars. Biblically, it talks about it. The stars being blotted out, and the moon shall not give its light. And even the sun, it talks about it. And I've always assumed that it would just be an eclipse. Well, technically, an eclipse is not necessarily just referring to the sun and the moon coming together and reducing the amount of light. An eclipse is just simply something getting in the way of the light, like an artificial matrix, like what we're talking about on here. I'm looking for some of my images. You can see, let me open this one up here. You can see this artificial matrix. This is that ball they have in Vegas. And you can see they have this metal mesh that they project onto on the outside. And they've got this metal mesh, as you can see, it is set up in the image of a very similar to a toroidal energy flow. It's perfectly round, like a torus. And just like a torus is something that it's built in and made into basically everything in nature. A hurricane is a torus. A supercell thunderstorm is a torus. Our body has them all over us. Uh, has it all over us. Our energy field is up for us. It's just everywhere in the world because everything is on a micro and a macro level scale in this world. Even the word world, even the image of the world is all based on the toroidal design. And like I said, no, we don't live on the ball, we live in the ball. The energy field, the matrix itself that projects this reality. Let's see. Questions. I'm up for y'all guys asking any questions. Uh, Apparently, I've done something wrong on TikTok. It's telling me I should end the live now or maybe get a suspension. Well, I guess I got to end it. Guys, if you want to keep watching, just go over to look up, go to the Supernatural Dot Show, and right there on that page, you'll get all of the links to where I'm live at right now.
Oh, I'm wondering why that is. Why did TikTok not like us talking about?
I ain't even showing anything. All I'm doing is talking about this, and it gave me a warning that it was going to give me a violation if I didn't end the stream now.
Weird.
Imagine that.
Hmm.
Yeah, TikTok is not a free speech platform. You can do a lot of things, but total free speech is not one of them. You're not getting away with that on there. And apparently, you just can't even just talk because that's all I was doing. So, what kind of violation have I done? But I'm used to all that. So, but hey, we got several hundred people that popped in, and that's good enough for only the second time I've been live on TikTok. So, I'm okay with that. No problem. And I got a bunch of new followers. I won. All right, I'm gonna shut that down. Then I can just focus on y'all guys here. That'd be better. Matter of fact, let me move this back over here. Put this monitor back where it goes. Put my camera back where it goes. See if it'll work. Oh well, that's good enough. Let's see here. Let me stop sharing. Let me switch these screens about. And everything will truly be back to normal. Then I can share again. Now we're completely back to my normal. So, all right. So now I'm just with y'all guys now again. Thank y'all guys for being here. Let me see if I seen any questions in here. Maybe copyright with the image. Lisa says. I don't know. The only image I had up there was my image and a picture of the sun during a full solar rainbow, basically. Oh, that was the other thing. Rainbow. It has that bow word in it again. So, and also the full solar, what's the word I'm looking for, Shannon? Our background that we use.
The sundog?
Well, the
Or,
dogs are the corner of the eyes. That's
okay.
what they call them. But the whole image is the image of the eye, how the sun creates the eye. Um, I can pull one up real easy. Full solar halo. That's what I'm looking for. Full solar halo. But rainbow just makes me question as to how my brain works. I'll start questioning everything. I'll be looking at anything that has the word bow to do with it, especially when it comes to things that they name and that are interesting. But yeah, like I can show you. This is the kind of image I'm talking about.
Right.
If I can get a bigger one. I know you know, Shannon. I was letting them know. See, when the sun, here's a good one. A pretty good one. When the sun's rising, under the right, if you have the right ice crystals, if you have the right matrix, there you go. If they have the right veil of ice crystals in front of you, between you and the sun, it will show you the image of the human eye. Or is it more than just the human eye? But as you can see, you've got the eyelid up top. You've got the pupil, which is the sun itself, and the iris. And these little corners right here and right here are what they call the sun dogs on both sides. Let's see if you see another. I've got video of it too, of course. I've been absolutely fascinated with it for a long time. Another pretty good one. Pretty neat looking one. And the moon does this too, but it doesn't produce quite as dramatic a one. Here's a good one. Here's another image of it. As you can see, what happens, the eyelid, when the sun is down lower, just starting to come up, the eyelid will be closed, just like our eye. And it opens slowly as the sun comes closer. Yeah, I said that right. And it's because we're seeing this, and I understand a little bit better now, Shannon, that, with the word, with the right matrix there, the right bow there, the right refractions going on. This is a good example of how they can alter the sky. We've learned quite a few things off of this image over the years. Remember how it keeps coming back up, like, because we use it as the Supernatural Show logo. We have since the beginning when me and Shannon started the show. But this is an example of how a projection can be projected into the sky if you get the conditions right, if you get the veil right, the matrix right. And this is what you would call a natural one, even though it is supernatural in the way it looks. It's repeatable. It's been observed, many, many times, as you can see by all the images here. It's not just a one-time thing. People have caught it on video and all kind of other circumstances. Let's see, I wanted to show you a full one. You say, well, what's this got to do with what we're talking about, Daniel? Well, it does. It has something to do with it, absolutely. Now, these are the names that they have given it, as you see all the labels on it here. And this parahelix circle right here, why is it called a circle? It's a circle because it actually goes all the way around the horizon behind you, assuming the right conditions are there as well for you to be able to see it. I've seen video of a guy filming it and turning all the way around. And what it does is it follows our what's the word I'm looking for? Trying to think of a better word than what immediately comes to mind. The word that comes to mind is dome, but maybe matrix would be a better description of it. A little bit more complicated, but a better description.
Firmament? What's the technical term? Would be firmament, right?
Firmament, yeah, okay, yeah. So, but it goes all the way around behind you. So it's not just an illusion here in front of you. What it's doing is revealing the nature of the environment in which you live in. And once you realize that your eye itself is in the image of, well, everything, but it's in the image of our reality. See, we observe our reality, our matrix that we're in, we observe it with our eyes. But it's inside the eye is actually where the image actually hits the optic nerves and everything, and where the actual image is inside the eye. Where the actual observation or the genesis of the observation takes place is in the center of the eye. Again, where creation is, which is in the center of the ball, not on the surface of the ball. Questions. I'm looking some more, see if I see any. I have photos showing 2 moons during an eclipse also. Send them to me. You can send those, text those to that number right there. Yeah, send them to me. And y'all guys, send me any questions you have. Even if you're not sure you understand or agree with what I'm showing here, it's okay. What it does is it'll just have to make me think a little deeper. And I'm not going to insult you, but if you have a legitimate question, or if you have a legitimate thought about it, or maybe some additional thoughts that I haven't even considered yet, send it to me here like this, okay? And when I set up the show today, I intended to keep it kind of short because Shannon's got to go, and for other reasons. But I did want to come back here and just kind of talk about it a little bit more because, and I'm sure I'll do it again. I'm sure I will do it again because this is a truly amazing revelation, the whole thing. And I think that y'all guys get that. So with that being said, guys, any final thoughts, Shannon? Because we're going to go ahead and get on out of here.
Tomorrow I will not be able to do my show because it is my son's birthday, and probably not. I'll be able to do it here eventually. Like I just said, I just got to get through these birthdays and graduation, and I'm good, guys. Yay.
We're going to have to tighten you up here soon. Get you on that schedule of hitting
Yes.
33.
It's almost the insanity is almost over, so it'll be.
Oh, I beg to differ.
Well, at least in this household, I should say, for
Okay.
like with dealing with kids.
Yeah.
So, yeah. All right.
I'm looking forward to it, and I'm sure they are too, Shannon.
Yeah, I'm getting there. Just gotta get.
And,
Gotta be mom.
between myself, Roxy, Miss Kim, I'm sure you don't necessarily have to be on every show alone until we can find you a co-host that would work well. Anybody out there want to be a Shannon co-host? Gotta have some knowledge. Gotta have Well, not much knowledge of a computer, but a little bit. Gotta
At
have a
least more
computer
than me.
or an iPad or something like that.
At least more than
Also,
me.
a cell phone won't work too good. See what, Shannon?
I said at least more than me.
Yeah, a little bit more than Shannon. How about that?
Oh dear.
All right.
All right.
I love you guys. We'll see you again here real soon. Friday, as a matter of fact. You'll see me back on Friday on the Supernatural Show. I'm sure we'll have some revelations and have some crazy to talk about. Just like I want to talk about right now, more about how the sun doesn't look bright outside like it should. If you look up, it's like crazy bright. If you look at the ground, it looks kind of dim. Something going on. Something going on. All right. Love you guys. See you soon.